Living the dream, baby. How about you?
Yeah, man, every day. Top of the news is you're thinking about leaving the beautiful state of Hawaii. What's that about?
Thinking about it. About once a week when we do this podcast, I bitch about tax at least once on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like having these calls with accountants and stuff, and I'm like, man, I it just kills me to be paying like 10% of taxes to a state. And
Yeah.
I can't stand that's one thing, right? And the amount of money we would save as a couple, like I mean, you can do so much with that, right? You can buy so much Bitcoin with that. But then also just I don't know, I've been here for 14 years. The only thing that's really kept me here is surfing and I have friends and stuff, but now it's like I don't know, like everyone's living their own lives and everything, and then it's very transient. So like a lot of my best friends have even moved off the island, you know. One of my best friends from here moved to Davidson, North Carolina, which is why I'm considering that. And I've got other friends that live in Franklin,
Yeah.
Tennessee. And yeah, I want to be around, we both want to be around like a solid Christian community, you know, where there's like a church on every corner. And that's like everything revolves around that. You don't really get that here. Want to live somewhere where there's seasons, right? We miss like the fall foliage and winter's not great, but it kind of makes the spring a bit nicer and it's easier to measure the time and like put like a timestamp on things and turn the chapter uh, turn a page in a chapter and like end that and then move on to the next thing. Whereas here, it's like Groundhog Day, it's nice every day, which is great, but it's like 14 years goes by like that and it's like, wait, what year did that happen? Like your memories kind of get all tangled in. And we'd also be closer to family. So that's a big one. Just to be able to drive and, like to drive longer than 2 hours and not end up right where you started would be a total game changer.
You should add the Panhandle or Northeast Florida to your list.
Think
There
so?
are some places where you can still, yeah, you can, well, because if taxes are a consideration,
Yeah.
that's Florida doesn't have an income tax. DeSantis is talking about eliminating property tax, which would
Yeah.
be huge. I mean, property taxes can be, 2 grand, 5 grand, 8 grand, depending on what kind of house you have.
Yeah.
And in northern Florida, you still get the seasons. It doesn't get snowy too often, but you can get down in the 50s.
That's
And
nice.
I know what you're saying. I lived in Southwest Florida for a couple years, and it was like the movie Inception, where Leonardo DiCaprio and his wife spend, all this time in a city that was just them. They had like the
Yeah.
whole city to themselves, and they came out, and it was like 10 minutes. And that's how I felt because
Nailed it.
there were
Wow.
no seasons. But man, Texas is cool. I would only move there professionally. I mean,
Yeah. So
because especially
it's
coming
not
from
even going to
Hawaii.
happen because I brought it up to my
Yeah.
wife last night. The only reason I added that to the list was because I had a conversation with like my best friend, and he was thinking about moving to Austin. He's like, dude, why would you go to Tennessee or North Carolina? Like, you should go to Texas, you should go to Austin. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know. And I brought it to my wife, and she's like, no.
There
She's
you
down to like
go.
she's typically down for whatever. Like she's like, yeah, let's talk about Tennessee and North Carolina. But when I brought up Austin, she's like, nope, too flat, too hot, no seasons, not into it.
Yeah, coming from Hawaii, you need a place that's like visually impactful. And you might not be able to get something like Hawaii, but
Right.
I lived in Colorado and it was beautiful. Loved being in the mountains.
Mhm.
Terrible state for a variety of reasons. But
Yeah,
if you can get out into the mountains, one of the best places to live in the world. And then
yeah.
the other one is by the ocean, and maybe North Carolina's good. I don't know. I've been there. I haven't lived there, but it's interesting when you've got all the options and you can go anywhere.
Yeah, we just feel like we need a change too. We've had a pretty gnarly like last couple years, just like going through some, personal stuff. I know you're aware of that. I won't mention any of it on on the podcast per se, but and it's just like these associations with all of that. I don't know, I feel like we both like want to leave this
Fresh start.
environment and just get a fresh start, not think about all that kind of stuff and just focus on having like new adventures and making new friends in a new community that's Christ-centric. And
Yeah.
I know it's like it's not like anything is final. So if we move and we're like, hey, we don't really like it, we can always go back to Hawaii. I mean, my wife, she's got a family home here, so we'll always have like Hawaii roots. And eventually we'll be able to, if we want to move back here, we'll be able to move back here and do that. But that's
I
also,
think you've got,
yeah.
go ahead. I was going to say, I think you've got a Florida man vibe.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
feel
gonna lie
like
and say I haven't heard that before.
you should. I did. I do. I feel
Yeah.
like you should add that to the list. You
I
know,
don't think I
maybe
could
it's
convince my wife. Just the brand name of Florida alone, I don't think that she was just gonna think of like, hurricanes and gators and stuff like that.
eh. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a real concern and definitely a consideration. For me, it's the ocean, you know. Like
Yeah.
I will I'll be back there one day.
That
Seems
that's
break
gonna be the hardest
boys.
thing is not being by the ocean, obviously, right? But at a certain point, it's like, man, is I don't know, I guess it could be, but is the ocean worth this much? Like, I don't know. I've done over 14. Maybe the answer is yes, it is, but maybe it's not. Like what you just said about the Inception movie is completely spot on. It's like we have like the same routines. We know all the little nooks and crannies, and we like frequent the same little areas, and it's really isolated, which is not a bad thing. It's, that's okay. But it's like, yeah, it's just like we're living our lives just like the two of us here doing those things
Yeah.
over and over again. And I feel like we could use some variety.
Yeah. I don't think you'd go wrong with Franklin, Tennessee. I think that would be good. I don't think you'd go wrong in North Carolina. You know, that's a great place to live.
I've
East
got
Coast is
friends in both
cool.
areas, so
Yeah.
we're gonna go visit both in October. And so how close by are you to like Tennessee and North Carolina?
Let's see. Tennessee, it's a 3 hour drive to Nashville. So Franklin's just outside of that.
Yeah. Nice.
North Carolina, yeah, North Carolina would take a little bit more time, maybe 6, 7 hours, depending on where you go. But it's beautiful. I mean, North Carolina, you can go skiing, you know, you've got the mountains and then you've got the ocean. It's sort of a 4 hour drive from the mountains, but
Yeah,
you could still enjoy, you know, if you had to do it, get to the ocean 4 or 5 times a year, live in the
exactly.
mountains, you could do that.
Yeah, I know. And North Carolina is very appealing because like I said, one of my best friends, him and his wife and his family, they're all there and they're just such great people. And it's like he's lobbying pretty hard for us to move there. But we'll visit. We'll see what the vibe is.
Yeah.
It's just like the no state income tax of Tennessee is really appealing. But I mean, North Carolina's got a flat, I think 4.5% state tax, which I
Hmm.
love. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's lots to think through.
Lots to think through, but I think the thing is we're just taking the first step, but looking at flights right now. And then I think what we're gonna do is when we visit both like Franklin and North Carolina, then we're gonna go to Pennsylvania to see my family. And I think we're gonna drive it.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
Little fall foliage, like a fall
Beautiful.
drive up through Appalachia, right?
Yeah.
Through West
Get
Virginia,
your,
Kentucky, that whole
yeah.
area. What do you
Get
think?
your road trip music on Spotify and
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that would be a moment. That's good.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting excited just thinking about it, man. I don't know.
Cool.
We'll see. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, man. Well, let's talk about Bitcoin.
Okay. What do you talk about? Well, this time last week, Bitcoin, when we were doing the show, I think Bitcoin was 113 and
All
now
right.
it's 119. And
119.
and it
Yeah.
feels like nothing. 119 feels super low. Doesn't
It
feel
feels it feels way better than 117.
It does. Not as good as 123.
I know. It's so funny. I mean, goodness, we get used to these price levels. And, I think that I need to remind myself it could go down to 104, 105, 107,
Yeah.
within a day. You could have Trump tweet something, and then we're looking at 107. I would absolutely be a buyer at 107. I'm a buyer at 119, but,
I'm a
man,
buyer at any number, baby.
yeah, it's the all-time high. I just like to buy as many sats as I can, and if it means waiting a day or two, uh, sometimes I still play that game.
So you had a prediction by the end of summer. I think you said 130. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
Yeah, I think so. This is tough, dude. I think that, we could rock it to 200. I'll drink that Kool-Aid. I think that it would take a couple of factors to get us to see some really exciting numbers, and I think that's Jerome stepping down, the money printers getting turned on. Well, they actually already are, but maybe interest rates
Interest.
dropping. The US maybe has sold their Bitcoin, maybe they haven't. I saw conflicting reports
Yeah.
about the US stack. And if there's some reason that the US is like, hey, we sold 85% of our Bitcoin, and they begin to buy it publicly, or at least announce that they're going to try to make up what they lost, I think that could be a contributing factor. So I think, there's peace in the Middle East that happens between now and September. There's a bunch of meetings happening, between the UN, and they're trying to figure out how to get a two-state solution or something over there. So I think those factors could drive a lot of optimism in the market.
That's
Yeah,
not gonna
there's
happen.
no two-state solution. That
There's
ain't
never
happening.
going to be a
I'm
two-state.
just saying that's what the world is saying. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But I think if all those things don't happen and we just continue to bump along, I think 130 is completely reasonable by the end of the summer. We're talking September. I feel bad for the guys that said sell in May and go away, because they've missed out on this huge run. So, and I mean by huge, going from, 100 to 123, which, I mean, that's significant.
Yeah. What is
So I don't
September?
know.
Like 6 weeks away,
Yeah,
right?
I feel pretty confident about 130 by the end of the summer. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's just the natural slow grind. And yeah, I'm curious to hear what you think.
I said 200, and I stand
Yeah,
by it.
do it.
You're the more moderate right here, right? So I have to play. I have to play the more hopium guy. You know.
I like being the hopium guy sometimes too.
Yeah, 200. I mean, it's not even crazy to think that. That's like very feasible to go from 120 to 200. That's not a
Yeah.
huge move, right?
No. Yeah, Bitcoin has 10x. Like we
And
can be at a
you know,
million, we could be
right.
over a million. I think it would come with a very sudden pullback, but it's not hard for Bitcoin to go up. Other than the fact that it would take more capital. The bigger Bitcoin gets, you just need more capital to move it that hard. But
Yeah.
it's not impossible.
Speaking of capital, big capital, IMF is disputing El Salvador's reported Bitcoin purchases. They're saying that El Salvador is not buying new Bitcoin, but merely consolidating its existing holdings in contrast to the official government statements from El Salvador. What do we think?
I just think that the IMF is salty and trying to cover up their embarrassment and betting that most people are uneducated. And they're probably right. It's probably a good hedge. If you've got egg on your face and you look like a complete idiot, of course you're going to try to spin the news your way. But El Salvador, their addresses are public, and Stacey Herbert posts them, and it's just going up. So I think they're mining Bitcoin with volcanoes. Like,
Are they
am I right about?
actually? Is that
Am I
is that
wrong about that?
is that functional? I know that I was on that Spaces years ago, which is wild when Bukele went on there, and I think Nick Carter was leading it or they're talking. And these that was like what they wanted to do. But I don't know if they've done it. I don't know. We should fact check that.
All right, let's fact check it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for now they are.
Let's ask AI. It is El
I'm
Salvador
doing the same thing.
Bitcoin with volcanoes. They've got the volcano bond. I know that, but
Yes, they're using
oh,
geothermal energy since 21. They've mined 474 Bitcoin,
wow,
valued as much as 46 million. So you got your confirmation here first. Yes,
wow.
volcano mining. That's badass. I mean, I think that when you're a pleb and you're buying Bitcoin off an exchange and moving it into self custody, like, yay, you're doing a cool thing. That is the mission. But when you're mining Bitcoin and it's KYC free and you plug up a miner into your wall and
Yeah,
you get sats every day. And then you've got another miner that's doing a lotto, and maybe you've got one in 20,000 chance to win every single 10 minutes. Um, those sats are like way more exciting. I can't explain it unless you've tried it, but you should try to stick a miner in your wall and get some KYC free sats.
yeah. Maybe that's something I'll do when we move from Hawaii.
That's your motivation. So
Yeah,
now base your move on the lowest electricity price.
yeah, right. Because well, the one thing I did think about is doing like a solar setup here, but man, I haven't done that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many out of the box options. Brains has one that looks really cool,
yeah,
and I think I'm going to get that. But my biggest factor for purchasing one is just terahash.
yeah.
Like, how much terahash can I get for whatever price? And I'm probably going to have to spend like $500, but that'll get me 6 or 7 terahash.
Nice.
And when those first bid axes came out, those are like less than 1 terahash.
Right, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I gotta do that. That's fun. I mean, yeah, when you earn Bitcoin through services or you earn it through mining, like that's a totally
Yeah.
different feel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, on my shop, Birdflip, there are a couple people who have like Jake from AirBTC. He's like, I want to pay in Bitcoin. I'm like, all
Oh, he
right,
told me that actually. I had a call with him
did
a few
he?
weeks ago. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was cool, because it's yeah, it's a
Yeah.
secret stash.
I know it feels like it feels free. It feels like, oh, I got this.
It does.
Yeah, like it.
It's so much better. I mean, there's like it's hard to describe it until you've experienced it, but like when
Yeah.
you earn Bitcoin, I mean, it's so much better than earning dollars.
Even when you get zapped, and when you get zapped on Noster, it's a cool feeling. You're like, oh, damn, I just got like 200 sats. Nice. It's just like nothing,
Yeah.
but
Are,
it's cool. It's like that's
yeah,
awesome.
totally.
You know,
Are you on Orange Pill app?
I am. Yeah.
All right, so I'm on Orange Pill app and I've got 3,384 sats that people have zapped me.
Let's see what I
I
have.
mean, that's potentially just over 3 grand when a dollar is a sat.
I've got
Just
10,000 sats on there.
oh, of course you do. Of course you do.
Got a bunch of
Congrats.
people zapping.
Yeah.
I should spend more time on here.
I know it's crazy, dude. I mean, they come in at like 1 sat at a time, but somebody zapped me like a pretty big chunk, which is why I think I have 3,000.
Wow,
Um,
I'm neglecting it. I'm like, oh shoot, there's people that are messaging me and I've been ignoring them for months.
eh, they probably forgot by now.
But it's kind of hard to measure all the notifications. It's like, okay, I got to think about Slack, got to think about email, Telegram, Twitter,
Signal,
Nostr, Orange Pill app. What else?
signal.
Signal. Yeah. Seven, eight,
Yeah,
eight,
dude. I
eight
mean, it
apps right
is.
there where you're like managing notifications. Dude, technology was supposed to make our lives like so much more streamlined and easier. And we're like, oh, email and the digital revolution is going to mean that instead of working 40 hours a week, you're going to just be working like 20 hours a week because you're going to be so much more efficient. And what happened is like, no, that's not. We're going to be working more. And there's going to be no off button. And
Right.
it's like, man, so I
24/7.
don't have much hope of like what AI is going to do in terms of like increasing productivity and efficiency. It's like you just replace that and then you do more on top of that. And then it makes people
Right.
more brain dead because they don't actually have to do the thinking. So I'm not too hopeful with the direction of humanity. I said something yesterday when I was just thinking about it. And what did I say? Let me pull it up. I said it's unfortunate, but I think the post-human future is not one of wondrous space travel, but the slow decline of a society no longer capable of innovation, creativity, or even general maintenance. Man is being severed from the transcendent. Our only hope is God. G.K. Chesterton was right when he observed every high civilization decays by forgetting obvious things. And I
Man,
think
that's
that's
so
where we're
true.
at, you know?
That hits. That hits. That's so true. I mean, it's impossible to, think about being an artist because AI is so good at creating things like within minutes. And then forget about art and go into any other industry. It's hard to know like what's not going to be taken over. And I saw some people from Trump's administration say, hey, go out there and be a welder or be an electrician or a plumber or construction worker. AI is not going to do those things. And then you've got Elon on the other hand, who wants to have every home have an Optimus robot
Yeah.
performing tasks.
Yeah.
AI is coming for the physical labor as well as the creativity, the paperwork, the lawyers. I mean, would you trust an AI surgeon or an infallible human, if you're doing open heart surgery? Would you want something that's programmed that can, laser etch something on a very tiny chip? Or do you want some alcoholic, not that they all are, doctor with a shaky hand, kind of poking around in
Well,
your
you put it that way.
left ventricle?
Options.
I mean, think about the risks though. Like, think about the risks. There is human error, and that's what these AI guys are doing. They're removing human error from the variable. So, it
You
is.
think, well, the way you think, what if this drunk surgeon messes up? I think, what if he succeeds?
Well, hopefully, you'll have a quick outpatient surgery and be back on the
Oh
waves.
man. Yeah, it's a good proposition there. It's scary, but I would rather like live my life with like going in the direction I've never actually, and this is probably to my downfall. I've never made decisions based off of where like I felt what was going to be worth a career in the future. Like, oh, like what industries are going to be booming in like 10 years or 20 years, and I'll learn those skills and do those things. I never like I always had a hard time doing that because I could only
Yeah.
excel in the things that I actually cared about. And I was always
Yeah.
the way with throughout school. Like I was really bad with math, but it was like more advanced English courses and the humanities and stuff, and was involved in the TV department and like journalism stuff. But when it came to the science and the math, I'm like, I don't know, like but yeah, because I wish I had been able to like push through that wall and like learn those things more and because they're very interesting. Science and math are great subjects to be good at. And there are very, very fascinating things that come from that. But I don't know. I feel like I wasn't hardwired that way. So I would rather, this is just a long way to say I would rather just do the things that I want to do that I'm passionate about. And if it works out, that's great. If it gets disrupted by AI or any other industry, then at least I know that I tried and I went in that direction. I can always pivot from there.
Yeah. I think that's similar to how I think too.
Yeah.
I do stuff that I'm interested in. The stuff that I'm not interested in that I have to do takes forever.
Yeah.
The stuff
I
that
get
I
it.
enjoy, it's not even work. So I try to, and I'm not perfect at this, it doesn't happen 100% of the times, but I put my energy into things that I know I'm good at, that I enjoy doing.
It's
Like
this
that's it.
there's this guy on Twitter, Noah something. He's like a health guy, like a biohacker kind of guy, salt of the earth type of dude. But what he says is if you have ADD or something like that, then what that is actually you're like a hunter-gatherer. Like you're the back in the day, you're the ones that were constantly thinking about that next meal and you had to approach a kill. And that's everything else is kind of secondary to that. But, putting that type of person in the modern world just doesn't really work unless they're in the right profession and unless they know how to kind of hijack the way that they perform. I mean, it's like, yeah, I have a very hard time doing things that I don't enjoy doing and I don't like to do, and I'll put them off. And then but the things that I love to do, like I could read a book in 2 days, that I'm really interested in. Um, and the work that I do doesn't actually feel like work, right? So
Yeah.
I guess you just
I
got to
think
find
if
your thing.
Yeah, and I think if you ignore the things that you have to do, eventually they'll just go away.
Yeah. You know what? I have a rule. I have a rule is that if I won't pay medical bills or things like that until I get a notice in the mail.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
based. It's
And then I
very
and then I
based.
look at the notice and I'm like, is this legit? And then I contact them and I say, uh, can you prove to me where this came from? And
Show
that's
me the contract that I signed
yeah, I
for
just want
this
yeah, because
surgery.
the way I think about it too, I think that there's so many scams out there and everything, and like, people are trying like they're sending you all this stuff to, oh, like you owe this money. It's okay, it's like $50, I'll pay it, but I don't know. Do I? I don't remember that.
Yeah, dude. I've got a library after me because one of my kids, took a book out for one of their reports. And of
You know,
course it went missing or flooded. And the library goes, not only do you have to pay the fine, you also have to return the book.
oh,
Like, well, guess what? You're not getting either
yeah, fuck you.
because you just didn't disincentivize me from paying the fine. Like, if I
Libraries
pay the
are
fine, but I
strict like
still have,
that, man.
what's that?
Libraries are strict like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about Bookman from the Seinfeld episode,
I don't know.
but anyway, it's just like I was disincentivized. So, yeah, I don't care. I mean, whatever. I feel bad? A little. But I think that thing got flooded in the hurricane. So, you're not getting your book back.
No love lost. You know what I
Yeah.
am incentivized by? Buying Bitcoin.
Buying Bitcoin. Yeah.
You want to stack some sats?
Yeah. Should we wait till it dips to 118? It's going
Nah,
up.
man. No time to stack like the present.
All right. Uh, I'm gonna buy $100 today.
Okay, I'm sticking with 21. Nice. 119, 600.
Yeah, 119, 400. Just
All
got to
right.
put in the code to authenticate. There it
You know,
goes.
River has this
Give me a
feature where
ring.
you can earn Bitcoin back if you hold cash with them.
Oh, nice.
3.8% back in Bitcoin. But like I don't all my cash goes to Bitcoin, so I don't really
Man,
you know
that
what
was
I mean?
only, yeah, totally. That was only 83,000 sats
I know it's crazy.
for $100.
It's crazy,
Give me
man.
a break. I mean, for $100, you used to be able to get one Bitcoin.
You remember those days?
No,
Hey,
I
well,
wasn't.
listen, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say we got a little Sopranos. Hey, I was gonna say this, you whore.
Hey,
You whore.
hey.
Um, if you bought Bitcoin with us, if you stack sats, you ended with more Bitcoin than when you started, and that's what it's all about, right? You
That's what
still
it's
have
all about.
more. You still got more stats.
Yeah, I think about a video I saw this morning where a guy was saying if you have 0.01 Bitcoin, and I know that's kind of a meme. Everybody says it's not
Cole
enough to
Weemsley,
retire. What's that?
Cole Weemsley or something.
I don't know who he was. I had never seen him before. It got recommended to me, but he was breaking down the math, and it's like basically nobody has a million sats. Like the people who have a million sats, it's like a very small percentage of the world. Like, top 10% of the world wealth, in Bitcoin, if you have a million sats. And yeah, I mean, I think it's the guy that does my favorite thing about Bitcoin. That's his channel.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
I'd never seen him before, but
He's got a podcast. My favorite thing about Bitcoin.
Yeah, like we need another Bitcoin podcast.
No, dude, if you're doing a Bitcoin podcast in 2025, like a loser.
So embarrassing. I would never do that. But it's cool. I mean, the one thing that's interesting is the number of whole coin addresses, one Bitcoin or more, has dropped from over a million to near 800,000 and something. So the era of the peak whole coiner is over. We're now on the downtrend, and there will never be as many whole coiners as there were last year.
It's just wild, dude. I'm so grateful that we bought Bitcoin when we started buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, I still think about buying it before
Oh,
2021.
oh. I mean, whenever I think about those memories, it pains me that I was so dismissive in 2012.
I don't even know what I was doing in 2012.
I had just moved to Hawaii in 2011, and that was in the December. I moved to Hawaii completely by myself a week before Christmas, in 2011, and didn't know anybody, but eventually I moved in with this guy who's a really good friend of mine still. And he's from Big Island, but he was like introduced me to people and stuff. And one night he had some people over from college that because he was an undergrad, I was going to grad school. And one of these kids who was sort of like, I don't know, just sort of like kind of like a chronic, I don't know, like something a little off. Maybe he was just stoned or something, but he was talking to me about Bitcoin. And it's like, it's going to change. Like, oh, dude, this stuff's going to go up like so much. It's going to be, man, it's going to be like worth, $1,000, $10,000 one day. It's going to be crazy. And
Boy, he was wrong.
dude, I don't, this guy, I have no idea what he's talking about. And he just kind of gave me the creeps. And because of that, I just totally wrote it off. I was like, nope, never doing that.
Oh man.
Didn't think about it again until 2017.
Well, I mean, 2017 that's still pretty early.
Yeah, but I think it was probably around, I don't know, $10 at that time, maybe not even $10. You know,
You could have just thrown $100 at it,
yep.
let it sit there.
What would it have hurt me
It
to
wouldn't
bet on
have.
that? What would I mean, not that I had a ton of money, but what it would not have hurt to be like, okay, I'm just going to put $100 into this thing. This guy's crazy, but fuck it. But then it took me till 2017 to John McAfee saying he was going to cut his dick off and eat it on live TV if Bitcoin had 20,000 to buy some.
I remember that. Oh goodness, I remember that. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you just got to be grateful for what you've got.
That's right. I mean, that's
Keep
what it all comes
stacking.
down to. It's like
Keep
because
looking forward,
keep
Like
looking
forget about the past.
because anything in life, you have regrets. I wish I would have done it that way. Oh man, like I'm embarrassed about the person I was, the decisions I made, the way that I thought about the world. That's a good sign that you're just evolving as a person, right? So you should always look back and have a certain level of regrets. Um, and so I think it's the main thing is like then now that you try and do the right thing, you buy the Bitcoin, and if you're watching and you haven't bought yet, just start now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter you didn't get involved in 2012 or 2017. Like you can start now. Then in 2040, you're going to be super happy with yourself. Shit, 2030, you'll be super happy with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, don't wait till 2026 to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah. Amen, brother. All right, man.
All right, dude.
Anything
Well,
else?
good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, nothing else.
All right, brother.
Being humble, stacking sets,
I'm
calling
gonna
out
golf today
shitcoiners.
with a buddy of mine. So wish me luck, man. He's a good golfer, so I hope I don't embarrass myself. Either way, I'll have a few beers and enjoy it.
Yeah, probably the more beers, the less embarrassment you'll feel.
Yeah, a few beers, six to 10 beers. and a cigar or
Yeah.
two.
Oh yeah. You
Nothing
won't even
crazy.
think about golf.
All
Yeah.
right, man. We'll talk to you
All right,
later.
buddy. See ya.
Peace.